Welcome back, guys. Today we're going to continue our NFL predictions with the Buffalo Bills. And last year, and many other people would say this, the Bills were pretty much everyone's pick to go represent the AFC in the Super Bowl. They were my pick last year, but we failed to realize a couple things. For one, their defense was, especially when they weren't healthy, they weren't good. There's two, without Brian Dable, Josh Allen regressed a little bit. He was still good, but he regressed without Brian Dable. And teams felt like they were out of sorts towards the end of the season. And let's take a look at their schedule last year, and I'll tell you what I mean. Like, yes, they got off to a pretty hot start, going 7-1 to start the season. Correction, 6-1 to start the season, only losing to the Miami Dolphins thanks to Isaiah McKenzie not going out of bounds. But after beating the Packers on Sunday night, they lost two straight to the Jets thanks to defense, and they lost to the Minnesota Vikings because of two crucial Josh Allen turnovers, which included an end zone fumble that resulted in a Vikings go-ahead touchdown and a late game interception in overtime to cost them the game. Then after that, they played the Cleveland Browns, which had to be relocated to Detroit due to a severe snowstorm, and they had to return to Detroit 3 days later to play on Thanksgiving. I think they decided not to stay over that weekend, but whatever. They got three straight divisional wins over the Patriots, Jets, Dolphins, destroyed the Bears. We'll talk about that Cincinnati game in a bit, and they beat the Patriots. Overall, they only went 4-2 in their division. It's not a bad way to end the season, but when I was watching the Bills, towards the end of that season, I started to see some cracks in their foundation. And that took us right to the postseason, where the Miami Dolphins, a team that was pretty much dead in the water because of the Tua injury, they made it a game. They actually had a lead at one point against the Bills. But luckily, the Bills were able to overcome them and get the W. But against Cincinnati, they weren't that lucky. In a snowstorm with the elements on their side, Cincinnati just went in there and hit them in the mouth. I think that's exactly what happened to them. Now let's talk about some highlights. And one highlight was beating the Chiefs week 6. Many thought that this was going to be that game was going to be a preview of the AFC Championship game with Mahomes and Allen, but the Bills were able to avenge. It ended up not being the case, but the Bills was able to avenge their AFC divisional loss to them in that game. Stephon Diggs was still Stephon Diggs, nothing more, nothing less, and they swept the Patriots once in December and again on the regular season finale. The regular season finale, it felt like everything was going right. It was destiny on why the Bills won that game more than anything. And now for some lowlights. For one, Von Miller. Von Miller, once he got hurt on Thanksgiving, I think the Bills' defense went downhill afterwards. They were not the same afterwards. And remember those cracks I started seeing towards the end of the season? That was one of the biggest cracks. Then they lost to the Bengals in the division round. In that game, like I said, Cincinnati hit them in the mouth. And Stephon Diggs, he basically threw a temper tantrum, left the locker room early after that game, did not want to hear anything, did not talk to the media. It's games like this that shows him that the band could be breaking up sooner rather than later. In third, the Damar Hamlin episode. I'm not going to get into details of this. It was a scary sight for everyone who watched, and we just want to say we are very happy that he made a full recovery, and most recently he has participated in OTAs without limitation. So we're going to continue to pray for Damar. Hopefully his career can resume to being what it once was. And now on to some acquisitions, and They added they didn't have too many. They added Damian Harris, Taylor Rapp, and Dave Edwards. Damian Harris is formerly of the Patriots. Rapp is formerly of the Rams. I can't remember where David Edwards came from, but they did lose a key piece of their defense in Tremaine Edmonds. He signed a big time deal with the Bears. Devin Singletary, he left for he was an underwhelming back. He left for another team. In Case Keenum, he returned to Houston for a third stint as their quarterback, this time as their back. And in the draft, they took Dalton Kincaid, a tight end hybrid from Utah. It said he could be lined up anywhere, but if that's not the case, the Bills could have two tight end sets. They also added a guard in Osiris Torrance, a guard from Florida, and they also added another talent from Florida in Justin Shorter, a wide receiver there. So for the Bills, can they make it to the Super Bowl this year? Or this season will be bust? Because I do think it's a Super Bowl or bust season for them. Let's take a look. Okay, Buffalo, let's take a look at your schedule. And you're going to start your season on Monday Night Football. But not just no ordinary Monday night. And not just Aaron Rodgers' home debut. It's actually going to be the Monday night that will commemorate 22 years since the 9/11 attacks. So that city is going to be on fire for that game. And with that being said, I gotta pick the Jets to win this one. Even even if they didn't even have Aaron Rodgers, I would still probably pick the Jets for that game. But against the Raiders, I got them winning that game. I went ahead and give them a win against the Commanders, and I'm gonna give them a win against the Miami Dolphins. So they're 3-1. Then they have the Jacksonville Jaguars. And even though Jacksonville is technically a road game in this one, they do have back-to-back London games. I'm going to go ahead and pick the Bills for that one. I'm also going to pick the Bills for the New York Giant game. But against New England, I'm actually going to roll with the Patriots. I do think the Bills will get caught slipping there. They're going to get a bounce-back win against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And I have them losing to the Cincinnati Bengals on the road. But against the Jets, Week 11, I'm going to go ahead and give them a win there. And the week prior, I already gave the win over the Broncos. Against Eagles, I'm going to pick Philadelphia to win that game. And heading into after their bye week, they'll have the big matchup against the Kansas City Chiefs that is for some reason not on Sunday night. Once again got robbed of the Sunday night spot in favor of an NFC East divisional game. But I am going to go with the Chiefs this time. I know the Bills won the last two regular season games in Arrowhead. I think the Chiefs will get them this time. But they'll bounce back in the Diggs Bowl against the Dallas Cowboys and getting a road win against the Chargers. I'm also going to give them a win here against New England. And I'm going to have them close the season out on a loss to Miami, which puts them at a respectable 11-6, which could be enough for them to make the postseason. But given how top-heavy the AFC is, who knows? 11 wins doesn't mean automatic playoffs. Just saying. So let me know in the comments below what record you think Buffalo is going to have. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.